Property taxes in El Paso. It's always a topic of discussion anytime that I speak to somebody that is moving into the El Paso area. And it is always something that is commented in any reel that I post, as well as any YouTube video that I post. It's always something that comes up. I know people are curious about it, so I've been wanting to make a video about this. And so here we are. Without further ado, we're diving into property taxes in El Paso. Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Teresa Ramirez and I am a realtor with eXp Realty here in the beautiful El Paso. If you're returning, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. And as always, I hope that this information is useful to you. So today we're talking about property tax. I speak with a lot of clients that are moving into El Paso from other states, and I know that it's something to think about when you're thinking about affordability here in El Paso. If you don't know, when you qualify for a mortgage, the mortgage lender is going to qualify you based on your debt to income ratio monthly. Your payment is made up of the principal, the interest, as well as any kind of homeowner's insurance, which is required. And then it also is going to include your property tax payment. Your property tax payment and your homeowner's insurance is pulled out every month, and that's put in an escrow account so that at the end of the year, the lender will pay the property taxes on the property that you own. So it is a part of your payment and it does affect your affordability. I've talked to clients who have been able to get pre-qualified in another state, and sometimes the lenders don't realize the El Paso property tax rate, and so they approve them based on whatever state they're currently living in, and that affordability doesn't translate to El Paso. So whenever I speak with the client who's thinking about moving here, the first thing I do is always have them get pre-qualified with one of the lenders that I work with here locally, or any local lender really, because those lenders are going to be very well versed in the property tax here in El Paso and will be able to tell you with accuracy how much you qualify for. Again, with that payment that is including all of those things that I just mentioned to include property tax. So how is property tax determined? So the property tax is determined by the El Paso Central Appraisal District. It is a department here in El Paso that basically goes around the whole city and tells you what your house is assessed at. So depending on what your house is assessed at, you're going to then pay a percentage of that amount. For the purpose of this video, we're talking about residential property. The assessed amount is based on your market value. So the way that the appraisers, the city appraisers, are going to look at this is they're going to look at your house, they're going to look at the area, they're going to see what has sold in the area that is similar to yours, and based on that pricing, they're going to then assess your house. They don't necessarily go into your house and see, what upgrades you've done or anything like that. They do measure through the outside initially. I know because we recently purchased a house in 2021, and whenever you purchase new construction, the tax that is going to be showing up on El Paso CAD is going to be an improved tax, which means that it is just tax for the lot, for the dirt. When the house is built on that lot, the appraiser then comes out, they measure the house, and they're able to, again, look at the area and based on that information, determine the value of your house or the assessed value of your house. And then you will pay tax based on that percentage. I know it's complicated. I'm actually going to hop on my computer just now and give you guys like a quick little tour. I'm gonna look at a house on Zillow, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna look up the tax on that house on El Paso CAD and kind of just show you how sometimes those numbers can be skewed, and why it's super important to get qualified with the lender here locally. Before we get into my little tutorial here that I'm going to show you, I want to invite you guys to subscribe to the channel. I cover a lot of things regarding El Paso on here. I also include property tours as well as community tours. So if you are living in the El Paso area and you want to stay up to date on what's going on in the city, I invite you to subscribe. As well as if you're thinking about moving here and want more information, I invite you to subscribe as well. My information is down below in the description box. I have added my Calendly link as well as my email address. If you would like to reach out to me personally, I'd be happy to hear from you and help you guys with any questions that you might have. On Zillow.com, I went ahead and just filtered between 250 to 260. The average home price in March in El Paso was 250,000. So I figure we could look one of these up. Let's go ahead and do this one. This is on the east side, 79938, priced right at 259.9. And when you go to Zillow, it'll give you a payment approximation. So this one is saying that at 259,950, you're looking at about 1849 per month, which is not accurate depending on how much you're gonna plan to put down. So if you're gonna do FHA, this one's gonna be more like 3.5% down. If you are going VA, that's gonna be 0. And again, just depending if you're gonna go conventional, you can probably do 5% down. But for this example, we'll go ahead and do 3.5% down. This is saying a 30-year loan at 6.25, which sounds about right. Mortgage insurance, this is gonna be PMI. Whenever you are doing an FHA loan going 3.5% down, you are going to have to pay private mortgage insurance that does go attached to the monthly payment. However, if you're going to do VA, this does not apply. If you are VA and you're doing 0 down, you also are not going to be paying the PMI. If you do 20% down, that goes away, as you can see. So again, if you put anything below 20% down, that private mortgage insurance is going to follow this loan. All right, so now what we're talking about today, property tax. This is saying that on this house, you can expect to pay 2.2% of property tax. That sounds a little low for me, but we are going to go ahead and check that out. And then homeowner's insurance of $90, which sounds about right. So now we're going to head over to the El Paso Central Appraisal District website, which is epcad.org. And keep in mind that all of this information is public information. So we'll look up 13177 Mystic Path here. Perfect. And this is going to tell us exactly what the assessed value is on this house, as well as what the tax rate is. So this is saying that this house is assessed at $268,910. What are they selling for? $268,910. Okay, so they're selling for a little lower than the property is assessed at. Now it's saying that the property tax here is $7,788. So if you remember here, this is saying that the property tax is $5,700. So if we do 3% here, that's probably going to bring us closer to, so $7,799 a year, right? So we're a lot closer here, and now we're going to have a pretty accurate payment, again, including homeowner's insurance, including property tax, including that mortgage insurance, at 30-year fixed 6.25. Again, this is going to vary. With 3.5% down, you're looking at a monthly payment of about $24.92. And again, this is going to vary on the house. We do have some areas in El Paso that might have a lower tax rate. Like for example, I can tell you that this one's probably going to have a lower tax rate. Let's see, 904 Apple Lane. We'll look this one up. 904 Apple Lane. Let's see. The property tax on this one on Zillow is showing $56.10 a year, which might be kind of close. Let's see here. Yep, 4728. So it's actually showing a little bit higher than it actually is. And you'll notice here that this is tax without exemption. At the end of the video, I'm going to talk about different exemptions that you can apply to the tax rate. Knowing the area, because I know the area pretty well, I'm thinking they probably have a homestead as well as an over 65 exemption, because as you can see, the discount is pretty big here. So again, just depending on the area is going to dictate the property tax rate. Now, this is an interesting one. So I know for a fact this house is a brand new construction. This is Classic American Homes. And I can tell you that this house has not been assessed yet because it is brand new. So as I told in the beginning of the video, when you purchase a brand new house, the tax rate is going to be at low because it's going to just be on unimproved land. So we'll look at this one, 13599, Lockland. Oof, it's not even coming up. Let's see if we can at least get the unimproved tax rate on this one, so I can show you what that looks like. So yeah, Classic American Homes, it's showing an appraised value of $21,000 because it is unimproved. So taxing on here is going to be $600 for the year. Zillow did a pretty good job of telling you what the tax rate is at the price of the house at 2.20%. However, this is going to be about 3%. So on this house in particular, you can expect about $7,700 a year on tax. And your payment is going to be, let's see, we're going to change this to 3.5%. Yep, all of that looks good. Yep, so you're looking at about $2,477 on this one. And again, this is a brand new house on the east side, and that would be with the tax at the value. So the way that the city will do that, or the way that the lender will do that in order to qualify you, since the appraisal district is only showing tax for the lot, what the lender will do is they will tax you on this amount right here, so that at the end of the year, you're not left paying thousands of dollars out of pocket because you didn't pay on the correct amount. So yeah, I know this is a lot of information, but I hope that this helps to kind of at least to give you an idea. And again, also epcad.org. This is going to be the website where you can find all of this information. So while we're on the topic of assessed values per CAD, I do want to give you guys a disclaimer. So the amount that your property is assessed at on elpasocad.org is not the actual price that you could sell for. I know that that's complicated because when the city goes in to assess your house, they are looking at the market. They are looking at the market as a whole with regard to what's sold in your neighborhood, how much did it sell for, and then being able to come up with the assessed value for your house. However, when we do a consumer market analysis as realtors, we are not just looking at comparables in the area. We are also looking at your house individually. We are coming into the house. We are looking at any upgrades that have been made, anything that's going to add value to your house, and then we can then price it accordingly. So again, just super important to keep in mind that the assessed value is not necessarily your market value if you were to put your house on the market. So keep that in mind. It's super important. And most of the time, there's going to be quite a big gap between what the city says that your house is worth versus what your house is actually worth. Okay, so again, how is property tax paid? As I told you in the beginning of the video, If you have a mortgage on your house, then that tax is going to be paid every monthly within your mortgage payment. Then that amount is going into that escrow account, gets paid at the end of the year when the lender receives that bill from the city saying this is what is owed to the city for property tax. If you do not have a mortgage, however, then that amount would be paid by you at the end of the year. So in October is when the letters come out that talk about the assessed value and what the tax will be, and that is when you would pay it. So it's typically due upon receipt of that letter. However, they give you until January 31st to get that paid, and then come February 1st, that's considered delinquent. So it's super important that if you don't have a mortgage and you do get that bill, that you absolutely get that paid. As far as tax breaks, there are several ways to be able to get a tax break. I believe I have a whole video on ways that you can save on tax, but just to kind of outline them a little bit. If you will be purchasing the house for you and you will be occupying it, you qualify for a homestead discount. So all that needs to happen is when you close on your house, let's say that you close in September, that beginning of the year, in January 1st to April, you have that time frame to go and file your homestead discount exemption. And that'll be a small discount on tax, but it definitely can make a difference. And why not save some money? You also qualify for a discount if you are over 65. And I believe that also if you are disabled, you also qualify for a discount. I don't know what the discounts are. I do believe that they are on case-to-case basis. But again, those are things that would qualify, and you can look them up on the website that I just showed you guys, El Paso CAD. They're going to have the forms and anything that needs to be filed in order to receive that discount. Disabled veterans will also receive a discount on property tax. So yeah, guys, that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover on property tax. I do want to mention though, keep in mind that the average sales home price in the country is $350,000. Here in El Paso, our average home price for March was $250,000. So yes, our tax rates are a little higher. El Paso has a lot of growth. The city is investing in renovating downtown buildings. We have a ton of amazing schools in the area. So yes, with the city that is growing so much, our property taxes are higher than I wish that they were. I know that it's definitely a showstopper for some people, but again, with that affordability that we have here in the city, it kind of just offsets. And then keep in mind that Texas also doesn't have any state income tax, whereas a lot of states do. So keep all of that in mind. If you have any questions regarding property tax, please message me. I am going to go ahead and drop my Calendly link down in the description box. If you want to book a call with me, you can absolutely do that directly into my calendar. I also do have my email and my phone number. So if you guys want to reach out to me, if you're thinking about moving here and you really want to get just a really good idea of what you're looking at, if you guys are thinking of moving here, please reach out. I'd be happy to speak to you. So again, guys, if you're not already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of this awesome content that I put out on El Paso. Have a great week, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.